Skate the Cape, better see you at the slide jam. Make it to the bottom, feeling pretty fly, man. You know I love it when you're all chilling here with us, and we be playing music and you all get to be hearing us.
Hey,
Welcome.
hello. We are back in the house in the virtual booth, and we got a very special guest all the way from across the pond here today. Winner of the first virtual slide jam, skateboard extraordinaire, racer, Instagram hero, Antoine Carlotti is with us. How's it going, man?
Yo.
Doing super good. Thank you for having me. I'm stoked on it. Stoked to talk about skating, anything related. Always happy to do it.
Yeah, dude, we got a lot to dig into here. So we're really stoked to have you.
Perfect. Yeah,
cool.
Going.
So, Antoine, you are currently residing in France, correct?
Yeah, right near Paris, Flatland.
You've been having a pretty stacked year in terms of traveling, eh?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, definitely a lot more for the past year. Yeah, since 2023, because I finished my studies, and now I'm just I work freelance as a graphic designer. So basically, whenever I don't have a design project, or sometimes even when I do, I still go for a skate trip. Whenever in the year. Before it was only during summer, and now it's just all year long. Whenever there's an opportunity and I have a bit of money and I can do something, and that's game changer for me. Like skating in winter, traveling in like Spain or places where you can see the sun, it's pretty amazing.
Nice.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's unique as a longboarder or downhill skater to like find that balance of making money and also having the time to shred. So I'm always interested in what people do.
Yeah. So Antoine, are you working from home or are you working at a building as a graphic designer?
I work from home, and I mean whatever I can call home, basically, because I have an apartment with my girlfriend. So because she works freelance too, and we usually work here, but sometimes I just go for a co-work with other people at a coffee or something. And sometimes I work during skate trips. I don't know, wherever I'm at. I'll just if I have my computer, I can work. So that's just freaking amazing.
That sounds really cool, man. And you have a graphic design degree. Where'd you go to school?
It's I went to school in Paris. It's called IIM. Nothing crazy from the school, but it was a really nice school because it was like I don't know how it is in the US or everywhere in the world, but usually the schools here in France, you just work a lot of hours. You have to be at school, like from 8 to like 6. Basically, that's the only thing you do in your life. And my school was super cool because it was only in the mornings, and the rest was just work whenever you want. And that even when I was at school, I had the opportunity to go skate in the afternoon or just work on other projects, skate related projects. So I'm super thankful from this because I initially started engineer school, much more like technical and super serious. But honestly, I hated it. And I mean, Jerry knows that we've worked a lot with Moonshine at the time, and just working with that, I started to love. Like I started thinking, hey, actually, maybe I don't have to be an engineer to make money and to like live. Maybe I can work in something around skating and have fun around that. So that's how I moved to this new school.
Nice, dude.
Going to college is like low key like a skateboarding life hack because your job is to go to school, and then all the extra time you have, you don't really feel like bad for going skating. It's like, no, I need to work out. I need to get some mental recovery. Like, skate. Yeah, Antoine. So I didn't really know you were into graphic design until I saw this a couple years ago.
Oh
Like,
wait,
this is incredible.
a couple years ago. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, the chameleon.
Like, this is such a cool idea for a board, like, video. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
so you,
I was super stoked to do it, but
Yeah.
that was a lot of work. like a lot of work.
dang. All right, yeah. So walk us through how this one worked out. How'd you do this?
Yeah,
There's a
so
chameleon walking up the board too for people that are watching this. This is rad 3D chameleon walking up this board for a product shot. How the hell did you do this?
that was for sure a lot of work, but it was honestly the best situation to work on this because that was at the end of my school. I mean, only did 3 years. I could have gone for 5 years, but opportunities. I thought I only do 3 years, and so for my last internship, like we had studied like for a week a bit of 3D, but we didn't learn shit. We just discovered the software and everything, and I was like, I want to learn this. So this is Blender 3D, and I reached out to some freelance guys to ask for an internship, basically, and I got to these guys that were working together, and they had an office, so I could go there. And for 3 months, I was just working with people who are working just like I do now, not a big company. I didn't want to be like the intern doing like bringing the coffee and doing shit like that. I just wanted to learn 3D and just do a bunch of it with people that knew what they were talking about. So I joined these guys, and they were like super excited about having me. And I told them I had this project with Rocket, one of my first promoted board, and that I really wanted to do something special. So I got this idea, and they were like, "Yeah, do it. We'll help you if you have questions." Like it's I had a few exercises to learn 3D before I could really work for their clients. But yeah, basically it was so gangster because I was just working on my internship for my school, getting paid, and doing my shit for
Man,
fun.
you're a smart guy.
I don't know. I'd say lucky, but yeah, it was definitely a good thing. So big shout out to they're called Turfu 3D for this internship opportunity. It was amazing to learn with these guys.
And then
Very
also, I was really taken aback while surfing the Riptide Sports website. You made all these.
Yes. Yeah.
Those are so cool. Like very simple,
Thank you.
like very effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
didn't you make me one, Antoine?
I did. It's right there, the green one. Of course, green.
Oh boy.
Yours had to be green, Jared.
Oh, I appreciate that, buddy.
Your aura pushing is green.
Oh, you and I are
Rad,
right.
man.
You still rocking
Yeah,
the same thing?
Oh. Huh?
Are you talking to Jared or
Yeah,
myself?
Jared, are you still
What?
rocking the same bushing setup on your board?
Oh God. I mean, the same setup, yes, but not the exact same bushings like from that photo. Certainly not.
Okay.
That was I think that was Central Mass. Yeah, that was definitely Central Mass for sure. Yeah, that was
That's funny.
5 years ago.
Just like out of context picture, and you got to find the context from like 5 years ago.
Right. He's really good at that.
Oh, nice job.
Yeah, the whole team. Yeah, that was a super cool project. I mean, so I've been working with Riptide for a long time now. I've been working as a team manager and graphic designer for like a year or two, and I just had this idea of like bushings are cool, and Riptide makes so many bushings that are so technical, so specific that you can go crazy with bushings, right? With bushing tuning. But the thing is, you either want to go full in, try a lot of bushings, pay for a lot of bushings, but not everybody wants to do that, and it's hard to understand. So I just thought, well, we've got a great team of writers. Let's show people what these guys write, and maybe it gives them maybe it's not the exact same setup they'll buy because they're not as heavy or different, but I think it gives a good idea with like your style, Jared, and then racing, and then Jeff on doing dancing, so a bunch of different things, and a bunch of different truck setup too. So yeah, I was super stoked on those. It just took me a while to get them all out because to get all the infos from all the riders, skaters takes a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's hard to be like, oh, how do I skate? How do I set up my board to be attuned to me? It's much easier to be like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to skate like this person, so I'm going to ride what they ride. So
Yeah.
definitely a good idea.
That's definitely what I do with Amboise because I'm super bad at like trying setups and trying stuff. I'm like the worst. Like you give me two trucks and if they're very different, maybe I don't even notice it. I'm like so bad with it. But I trust Ambroise because I know this guy, he's like trying a bunch of stuff and he's super good with it. So whatever he rides, I'll just ride it.
That's smart. It gets overwhelming, all the little tweaks.
Yeah, it's especially for trucks and bushings. I mean, bushings now I know because I've been like doing it for years. But especially like a few years ago, I remember skating my trucks with bushings like that I found great. And then I tried on was setup at K&K and I felt better on his than mine. And I was like, what the fuck? Like that can't happen. I've been skating this board for 2 years. It's not possible. But now I know what I like and I'm stoked. And the new Valkyrie, great.
Yeah, I've seen that thing. It looks trippy without the pivot.
Yeah. It's pretty fucking annoying to put it together because it's like a lot of parts.
Yeah.
But once it's just set up, I don't want to change it.
It's all good, dude. I used to ride Rojas. I'm very familiar with being pissed at my setup. It's so hard. Yeah. So let's get into you as a skater. So I kind of came across you for the first time in the virtual slide jam with your video, and I was really impressed by just how you put together a line with so many different styles added in. So let's go ahead and take a peek at the first virtual slide jam video you put together.
Oh, yeah. And what was that? Was that 2020?
It was 2021, I believe.
2020, yeah. Virtual slide jam. Yes.
Yeah. So let's get into it, and maybe you could like break down the video. Here we go.
Nice.
And so obvious big first trick there. 360 flip, 360 shove.
Nice. Outside shove, cross step, getting low.
Yeah. I remember this line. That's right. Yeah, this
so many
was a sick
kickflips.
Kickflip with the blunt. A classic Coleman 360.
Yeah. So did you like kind of premeditate on this line, or was it just kind of like the best line you did that day? Or
I mean, I just went out there, filmed one run, and that was it.
Wow.
Come on, bitch.
That's not true. No.
All about the play.
No, I think I just No, but I think I do remember. I went with my friend. We were filming for something else, for like a video he was doing around me, and I just thought, oh yeah, it's a good time to do it because you had this thing going on, and basically, the hard part was the tray flip and the 360 shove all together. Those were like the tough ones. So those took a lot of tries. That's why they are at the beginning. So I don't have to redo the whole fucking thing. And then I was just going a bit of like, freestyle, not planned. But I was trying to give it like a few seconds in between each trick at the end, especially, so that if I miss it, I can cut before. So I just like kept on doing tricks till I couldn't. Basically,
that was definitely part of it. You could have
smart game plan.
but the one thing I love is mixing styles, and just I don't really see a lot of people. There's Jesse and a few others that like makes actual freestyle, free ride, but like free ride tricks, slide tricks, and then some like glove down. And then, a few other things. So I was really trying to put all that together because I just feel like it's it's the one thing I really love, especially here in Paris. We don't have crazy hills. So if you're not into that kind of stuff, well, it can get boring for sure.
Well done. That was to watch. And I
What's up?
definitely enjoyed mixing up of the styles.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I like it.
But I was pissed.
One of the very few people in the world who can do
What was your line?
I think I actually put together more of a video part style where I filmed individual tricks. But the next time I learned from you, and I did a full line, the second virtual slide jam, because I was like, that is the ultimate, putting it all in one line. So
Hell yeah.
props.
But
You learned it.
Well,
It was tough.
Yeah.
It can, yeah, and you gotta have that friend that's willing to follow you that many times.
Big part of it.
Yeah, they get the win as well.
For sure.
Yeah, how
Hey,
did you feel
Jerry-
about winning?
Me?
Yeah.
I was so stoked. I was just, I mean, it's hard to remember exactly, but I remember I was in Tenerife, just for like vacation and getting some sun in the winter, which I really loved. I was just super stoked. I didn't have a lot of money back then, so it was great.
Oh yeah, how much did you win? 1,000 or 300?
I think no, definitely not 1,000.
Yeah,
But I think it was 300.
1,000. I think it was like 200 or something like that.
Yeah, but then I had to get Otang wheels, and I don't know if you remember that, but it took them, I think, 2.5 years to get me the wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took them 8 months, and we're in the same state. So,
Dude, it was even worse for fur in Brazil with a cruiser. Oh my god. I had to send that myself eventually.
Yeah.
how much was that shipping cost?
Oh, dude, it was like $90, and I had to contact the Brazilian customs and be like, "Hey, here's an email showing you that this is like worth very little because it's a prize and not even like a." I had to like basically say it wasn't like a legit board because it was like used or broken or something to get it through.
Well, props to you, Kirk, because doing all that work, the first one, it's hard to get events off, and like it felt like a big deal, like to have like to meet Antoine through this event, and also the other riders from other countries. It was like something we haven't done before. So
yeah, I mean that was the goal. And Antoine, how did you feel about that? Like, did you feel like more connected to the slide community through this contest?
I think it was just coming out of COVID, so not a lot of stuff going on. I was just stoked, like that this after COVID, a lot of people found out about Zoom, about these video calls, and just doing more stuff virtually, from a distance. And I thought applying this to skating and to a competition was super nice. I think back then I was working with Brandon on the course, on the longboard course. So we were starting to do something like Jared, you were on that thing too, I think. And
what thing?
Pure longboarding course. You remember?
Oh yeah, I did a session. That was fun.
Yeah, we were giving advice to people every week, and it was just nice to connect with people from all around the world. And the virtual slide jam was definitely something like that, where I just felt good connections all around the world. So yeah, of course, it was super nice, especially in a time where there weren't that many events.
Yeah, connecting with people virtually through skateboarding is something probably not many people are thinking about doing. And tell us a little bit more about this pure longboarding thing you were a part of.
Hard to remember again, but yeah, Brandon was just putting out a course where people would come, have all these videos that explain tricks in an efficient way, because you learn from like zero to if it was only for dancing though, but you had tricks to do every week, basically, and then a big Discord group with everyone talking, and once a week a call with a mentor. So people like Jared or myself were just helping them answer their questions, stuff like that. So
Wow, that's
it was
awesome.
fun. Yeah,
Dude, we need to bring that back to skate events. Have like a mentor day to learn stuff.
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be pretty cool.
At Giants had like back in 2016 or 15, they had like the first day you could show up and get a session with like legendary skaters like Brian Peck, James Kelly, Louis Poloni, Eric Jensen. Like
That was
it was basically
cool.
just like they'll show you how to do these tricks. Yeah, it was sick. We need
Yeah.
that nowadays.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
It might have been it might have been 2014. It was the year they brought it back after the fires.
Oh,
The year.
I want to go to that event so bad.
Dude, if you
It's fun.
do, let's take a run and do some fun putt squad shit. There's so many
For sure.
opportunities for just like combo breakers on that course.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Lots of fun turns, it looks like. Well, let's rewind a little bit. I would love to know how you first got into longboarding, downhill skateboarding, and what drew you to this sport over other types of skateboarding. Because you seem like you're a pretty talented guy. You said you lived kind of in the flats. So, how did you get into going super fast?
So basically, first, I was super lucky because my parents always pushed me to do a lot of sports. So I used to do trial bicycle. I don't know if you know what it is. It's like pretty weird bike, and a few other thing, board sports like snowboarding, wakeboarding. So I always loved that kind of stuff. And then at some point, in my hometown, there was this trend to have penny boards around 2013, I think. And I just saw people doing this, and I was like, "That's so sick! I want to try it." I tried it. I loved it. And then, so like I was like begging my parents to get one. I finally got one, and every day I was just going out, doing whatever, like skating around
on a penny board.
I was learning slides because I was watching downhill videos on YouTube. I only have my penny, and I only had my penny board. But when it was raining outside, I was like, okay, let's go slide. So I was going in parking garage, and just anywhere I could find a bit of a hill, I'd do it. And I really, really, really loved it. And I told my parents, okay, I need a longboard now. It's what I want. I'm sure of it. And at the beginning, they were like, well, you live in the city, longboard is long, it's going to be more dangerous, you're going to hit people or anything, stuff like that. And I was like, no, but so I got a bigger penny board after a few months, and I got O-tangs on that thing and a grip tape. So it was like a bit better, but still, not great. And then I remember going for a trip in the countryside with my parents, and there was this pretty cool hill. So, I hit it, and my parents were behind with the car, and they saw me like going, like 20 miles an hour, getting some pretty big wobbles on that thing, and they saw that. And that was like the moment where they're like, okay, you need a real thing. We can't let you with this, penny board. Like, it's too dangerous.
That's
like
awesome.
They knew
Yeah,
they couldn't back out from it, So, but they were still so generous, and they got me a longboard, Lodi Tantien, and and I was so sick. So I was just skating every day. Basically, I think my goal was just to learn new tricks every day, whether it was down the hill or in flatland, or dancing, freestyle, whatever. I just freaking loved it. But I was alone for quite a while, actually. I skated for like at least a year and a half on my own, but I loved it.
And what videos were you watching that you're trying to like emulate?
The one that really that stayed in my mind, and it's still now, is the loaded test rack video. Like, that was like my favorite video ever, because it featured everything. It had freestyle, had downhill, and I mean, I was a big fan of the loaded videos, for sure. especially the oldest, the older one. But yeah, big fan of Camilo.
Yeah, the time.
Yeah, Camilo Cespedes, Ethan Cotchard. I was watching all these guys, and I was like, yo,
The goats.
so good. Yeah, freaking amazing. But yeah, I think the one thing that really changed my life was meeting the community, because for a while it was just the love of skating, the pure love of skating, which is nice. But after a while, skating on your own is like definitely not the same thing as sharing it with friends and meeting people through that. So the first people I met was like two guys from my hometown who had, like, I had a test rack at that time, and they did too. And I was like, yo, someone in my hometown has a test rack. Like, that's like, specific. It's got to be someone that's like in it, not just cruising. So, and this guy just he sh- uh, he told me about the dock session, which we're starting in Paris. Like I think I went to like one of the first dock session in 2014. I think 2014. And from there, I just met a lot of people, and yeah, it changed everything. Because in like 2 weeks, I learned about an event going on and another event, and I was like, oh, actually, there's people that do what I do, and I can do it with them. So it changed everything.
Got to be there. You can't not be there.
Yeah, of course.
It's such a cool feeling too when you're just like, oh, these people do the same thing, and
Yeah, it's
like,
game changer.
were you doing downhill races or slide jams or push races? What was it?
So there were the very first event, I think, was you heard about La Grosse Rando, organized by the Duck Session. It's basically a big cruise. It's like the Broadway Bomb a bit, except it's not a race. And then there's challenges at the end with like hippie jumps. Back then there was a small slide jam too, so stuff like that. So that was the very first event. I freaking loved it. And then another one was honestly one of my favorite events ever. Like I'd pay so much to go to that event today, but it doesn't exist. It's called Ménil-Montant, Ménil-Descente, and it was a race, slope style race, in the middle of the streets in Paris, like in the middle of the city. So like thousands of spectators, like jumps, wall rides, like that's like I'd freaking like quit the WDSC and any race for these kinds of races, for the slope style race.
Yeah,
like
dude,
that was like my shit.
That was a time.
But that was on a downhill, right?
Yeah, and honestly, it was similar, I think, to the downhill disco, which is like the one event I wish I attended. But yeah, that kind of stuff, I love it.
Yeah, I got lucky enough to go to the downhill disco and the Cathlamet Corral, and both of those events were just like, dude, it made like a day seem like a year. Just
yes.
It was such a good progression.
I thought that's where the sport was going too. I thought for sure longboarding, this was going to be like, we were going to have border cross races because they're so fun to watch, and it takes so many different skills. Which, speaking of, like, you have so many different skills. How much time on your board do you dedicate to racing, to sliding, to like all the different, like, I don't know if you do street skating or dancing, like, how do you split up your time to do all that stuff? Like, do you have a routine, or you just skate and it happens?
So I'm for now, I had nothing. I was just, going with the flow. I'm trying to change that a bit. So basically, I think it's been like they had different times. I've been skating for like 11 years, something like that. And at the beginning, I was definitely like a 70% freestyle dancing, 30% downhill, and then it got more and more time. But then, at some point when you learn how to slide, then parking garage are not enough. Like, it's fun, but you're not learning, like actually learning stuff or challenging yourself. So I'd say, there was time, because I started street skating after I started longboarding. Like I started street skating probably 2014, like a year and a half after I started longboarding. And I remember that time I was like getting tired of street skating, so I was like going downhill skating, and then I got tired of downhill skating, going to the skate park, and so on and so on. So I just loved it, and I just had different communities. I had street skating friends, I had the friends from the dock session, I had downhill skating friends. So yeah, it was about, at some point for like 2 years, it was about 1/3 of each.
Right.
And today it's definitely mostly downhill. I'm trying right now. I really want to step up my racing game, because I've always been racing, but not focusing on racing. Like
Gotcha. Yeah.
I've been doing it more and more and more, but I know if I want to succeed, like I wish to, I want to work more. I want to work more physically. So I just started going to the gym today with Andres. We finally, like, we have a program, we had everything, but it took a few weeks to actually do it. So and it's good to have someone to do it with the
Nice.
same goals. So yeah, physically it will get better for sure. Mentally, I'm trying to think more about what's the mindset I want to get for racing, what the goals can be, stuff like that. I'm working on it. And also analyzing the videos, trying to understand why I'm slower than the fastest guys, all that. So yeah, I'm slowly transitioning into dedicating maybe not 100% of my time in my life, but more to racing, because it's definitely a goal, and it's what drives me right now. But with that doesn't mean the rest doesn't exist. I made a street skate video I was doing a YouTube video with a pretty famous street skater from France who went to the Olympics. And so that was like a month ago or something. And he pushed me, like, because we were switching sports. He was trying downhill, I was doing more street skating.
Saw that.
Oh yeah, you saw it. Okay. So yeah, before that, it had been like probably like 2 years since I stepped on a actual street deck, and now I'm just super motivated because it's winter. Not a lot of people are down to go skate downhill if it's raining or anything. So I'm going to the skate park often right now with my street skating board, and it's just fun, like no like big pressure. Like I want to try a lot of stuff. I'm just working on a few tricks, having fun, and I love it. And slide tricks sometimes, not often, because I'm the only one doing it here. So
Wow, really? It's not sliding. Isn't really like a thing there. It's either racing or dancing.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, we had a pretty big community in Paris back when my buddy Adrian Viven, he was doing like sessions to teach people every week. So of course, like for free. So that got a lot of people into the sport, and the community grew. But now, like I'm trying to do it a little bit, but it takes a lot of time, so I can't always do it. And so it's like a few people. Like I'd say right now we're like 12 people motivated in Paris, but a lot of us are just downhill guys, and a lot of us are pretty tired of skating in Paris and pretty lazy about it, especially if it's raining or so. Like I'm motivated, and also I work freelance, so like at the end of the day I'm stoked to go for a skate sesh, an hour or something. But it's hard to get people to do it. Like Andreas does it and a few others, but yeah, can't always do it. And when they do, they take corners, they do big slides, but none of them are doing slide tricks. So, and I'm trying to push them. I'm like, yo, but I don't know. I feel like an OG saying that. They're like,
yeah,
has like a weight and doing big slides like panties, and I'm like, yo, shove it slides, bro, and stuff like that. That's also, but yeah, it's a difference.
Do you guys have any like sessions that are dedicated to tech sliding? Because when I was living in Portland and kind of trying to build the scene there. We had Tech Slide Tuesdays every Tuesday night,
Ah, that's sick.
and like people
Man.
would come out and slowly but surely kind of change their style up to like do more shove it slides or like switch stuff.
Hey, maybe I should try it, because right now I'll be the only one doing it. But if I do it every week, maybe people can join, and yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
similar
good
to like
idea.
a skate park session because you're like, hey, let's go skate at the park. We're all
Yeah.
going to park, right? Or let's go do
Yeah,
Tech
yeah.
Slide Tuesday on this chill ass hill with dragons on. Like we're all going to do twirlies. and
Yeah.
stuff. So on that note, like you've got kind of like a skate everything mentality. Like you can do twirls, you can do 360 flips, you race no pause down. You did a Vulcan no pause down run. Like how do
yeah.
you kind of approach skating and improving these parts of your skating? Because it sounds like almost like you're focusing on raising all your stats instead of just like one or the other at a time. How do you do
Yeah,
that?
if Red Bull's listening, they got to hit this guy up. He's already got a training schedule, and this dude is dedicated. I don't know if there's a French version of Red Bull there, but
I
Red Bull France thing.
I mean, so first I gotta say I'm definitely not working as hard as the toughest racers out there. Like right now, Frenchie Adrian Pinel, man, he freaking dedicated the past few years. He's like fucking like his growth, man. Like he's like super like muscled now, and so technical about racing. Like he's writing down and everything. I'm looking up to him because he's just a hard worker and yeah, dedicated to racing. Same for Diego. I mean, now he stopped racing, but I mean, these guys were putting much more effort than everyone else, and that's why they paid off. Same for Harry Clark. So that's why I'm trying to go to aim for this. But I can't say for now I'm like super hard worker. It'd be lying. I've been just loving skating and doing what I love the most, but not working hard. So yeah. But besides that, what was the question? Oh yeah, yeah. For now, so yeah, free ride. I freaking love free ride, and the no post down is definitely my most important goal for sure. But the thing is, with the no post down now, the level is so high that it's not about doing free ride. It's a race like any other race, basically. Of course, it's different. It's a lot more stressful, at least for me, because there's no mistake allowed. But you treat it like any other race. This year it was, I have to say, the best no post down ever, like the highest level by far, because in finals we were all riding brand new wheels, like fresh wheels, and full blast.
Wow.
All in leathers. Ambroise was wearing the latex suit over the leathers. It was just, I don't think we would be faster if we put the hand downs.
That's hectic.
Or not by much. Like it's just like the level of the no post down. I just wish it was filmed, because like there's this big step from like the no post down 5-6 years ago. Like people were winning on like Powell's the perps, because they just didn't put their hair down, pretty fast wheels. But now you ride perps. If no one's fault, you don't make it. You make it till quarters, maybe. You don't go to semis. Like people are fast, and everyone rides big downhill wheels and are able to do stand-ups on them. So yeah, finals, you have to be on fresh wheels if you want to perform.
Damn. I mean, how do you even do that? Because notoriously fresh wheels are like really bitey. Like how do you like feel comfortable with your setup doing that?
I mean, I wouldn't do it on any hill for sure. There's hills where it's just so grippy. KNK is a bit special because it's pretty grippy. Like it's very grippy. There's a lot of braking power with fresh wheels, but it's consistent, and it's what matters. Because if it's like choppy and like weird, of course it's horrible for stand-ups. But like out there, it's pretty smooth. Like it breaks hard, you feel the grip, and it's like any other race, but it's smooth. So that's very important. But the big thing with the no pause is it's 18 corners.
That's a lot.
I don't think people realize how long the run is, because like any WDSC time trials goes from 1 minute 20 to 2 minute 30 max, right? At the no pause, there's no official time trials, but we did it with Ambroise and a few others. My time was 4 minute 44, full blast, full tuck, and everything. So physically, it's crazy. Like for the bottom half of the run, it's surviving. So that's why I'm also like training, because you got to be fast, but you got to be super consistent and super powerful to hold till the end. So yeah, but yeah, this year so tight. Like in the end, we're all within 1.5 meter, all of us.
Sheesh.
Crazy.
So
Wow.
do you feel that the next step for racing is stand-up slides? Because we all saw that move that Frenchie pulled at the Azerbaijan, or whatever, however you say it, in Turkey.
Turkey?
Yeah, he pulled that stand-up slide and really like threw a wrench in the gears. So, I mean, is that gonna be the meta for next season, you think?
No, I wouldn't say so. It's like Turkey's pretty special. We're also pretty slidey there. Like I remember I was doing stand-ups also the year before in Turkey, just because out there wheels are pretty slidey, except the 88s. The new 88s, they just were fucking amazing out there. But Magnum, Seismic, everything, definitely not the same braking power and also edge grip as it has on other hills. So of course out there it was pretty like it was doable to do a few stand-ups, but I still think it's completely different to do small checks than big slides. And like the risk of doing stand-ups is so high,
Mm-hmm.
then it doesn't really make sense to do it in racing. Sometimes for key moments, I was doing it in Wales to go hands down and then you finish stand-up. I think that's the kind of stuff we can see, because it's not as risky and it gives you more braking power, so it makes sense. So for me, that's the kind of stuff, or small checks. But what Adrian did was only to bother the people behind. It didn't really make sense in terms like he didn't do it for a quali run. So I think we'll see more and more, because it's gangster and you want to do it to look good too, right?
Yeah, and it does make people like want to try it, because it's like, I want to be
Yeah, of course. And I mean, you see someone in front doing this, you're like, yo, what the fuck? I think it works for sure. But I wouldn't say it's like the new meta where you're going to see all the racers going hands up and not putting the hand down, because like the risk to reward is just doesn't make sense. And also, as I said, like we ride fresh wheels at K&K because it's K&K and it's consistent. But there's hill where it's never happening. Like at the spot we skated at the French Championship this year is so grippy with fresh wheels, especially when it's cold. I'm never doing a stand-up run on freshies out there. Like, I mean, maybe I could on my own, but not racing 3 other guys and having sketchy situations,
Yeah, it's wild to see like where the sport's being pushed to now.
Yeah.
In that element.
But I mean,
Yeah,
I think it's yeah, I was just gonna say it. I think it's super cool to see how the top part of the sport is getting pushed higher and higher. Like you see people actually becoming like real athletes, training and like the people I mentioned earlier. But I think what we're missing is the bottom part, where we're not getting any new riders because we don't do shit for them. Like there's less and less local community events, I feel like. Less and less stuff like you said, people teaching others and that kind of stuff. And I think that's really what we're missing right now, because the sport looks good, but the WDSC events, you see 30 people out there. Maybe in the US there were more because there were free riders too, but most of the time there's 30 to 40 riders in the world. That's nothing,
Yeah, we brought the race to the Asheville zone, and
Yeah.
we did have like a pretty decent turnout for free riders, but that style of event, it doesn't really cater to free riders. It caters to racing. So
Yeah.
a lot of the free riders were like, this is kind of whack. Like, I want to take more runs. Why do I have to wait so long? What do you mean I can't skate? It's like,
Yeah, of course. I mean, racing.
We're at a
That's how
point
it
where there's
goes.
like the racing part of skateboarding is progressing so high that almost like free ride and sliding is like a completely different like hill,
Yeah.
And if all the assets in the community and the industry are going towards racing, then you're right. It does kind of put sliding on a different like tier, which isn't getting the resources that it needs to grow, which
Yeah.
we're trying to do as much as a podcast or the virtual slide jam can do. I really do hope that this year the virtual slide jam brings in a lot of new people, because it is going to be international again, and
Yeah.
we've got to figure it out how to cater to those people. And it's tough because it's Instagram, right? Like, a lot of people are tuning out because they just want to skate, so we've got to figure out a way to cater to those people too.
Yeah. When is it gonna happen?
Well, that's a good question. We're thinking it's going to happen quarter two of this year. So it'll probably happen when everybody can skate. So the winters are pretty brutal in the north, and you got to wait until we ride out the coattails of winter, and people can still have enough time to prepare. So. But also like Australia and South America, and they're ripping right now, so they're going to have
Of course.
a whole season of practice under their belt by the time the event happens. So I think we're looking at May, June again, kind of how it happened in the first year. So people have enough time to kind of like get their feet under them and can go out and like do the stuff they want to do.
Perfect.
That being said, if you're rain skating, you're going to be ready. So go rain skate, get your shit together in the rain. And then once you come out in March,
start sliding again.
get your stuff ready.
But actually, do you have any advice for us for the next one?
To be honest, I didn't really check the last one. I saw it happen. I was thinking about sending something, but then I don't know. I just had other stuff going on. So I'd have to really look at what you guys did, because it doesn't really make sense to have advice if I don't know exactly what you're doing. But I don't know. I just think the idea is great. Bringing freeriders together, because I think there's less and less slide jams, and having a virtual one can also push people to create actual ones. Or maybe that's something you can do. Maybe you could push people to create slide jams more.
Yeah. So in the second one, we had this thing called Go Slide Jam Weekend during Go Skate Weekend, and we asked people to make a slide jam, and that was part of
it. So you did it.
Yeah, I think our goal.
Then I have nothing to say.
I think our goal is always to be inclusive, and also to get people to participate together, whether that's virtually or in person. So however we can kind of focus on those two things, get the stoke high, get people to participate, go skate together. That's the goal.
Well, I want to switch gears again. Just want to say you have really good style, and you go really fast. So not everyone that goes fast is good style. I think it's because you're a slider. But is style is obviously important to you. So tell me where you got your style and how you're going to stay true to that.
Well, first, thank you. I mean, for sure, I think any skater think about his style, because it's part of it, right? Unless you're really only focused on racing and you just want to be, technical and fast. I think racing is definitely part of the style is definitely part of racing to me. And for me, my biggest inspiration for sure, by far, is Camilo Céspedes. I think he's just like the how do you say, incarnation of like the steez, you know?
Mm.
He's so fucking stylish. And like anything he does, like a 180, I'm like, oh, sick, you know? And what was the question exactly? Like, what's the
Like as you're gonna train as a racer, like is having that style still important?
yeah. I
Because
mean,
I see in your Instagram, like your videos too, especially like your clips, like you're posting pretty steezy lines even though they're super fast. So like where's that borderline of like when you become a race car versus having the style?
yeah. I mean, I'm trying to, as a racer, when I think like racing, I definitely, I'm not thinking about the style. No, I'm not. I'm on in races, during racing. That's not the thing I'm thinking of. But I'm just skating the same way I would anywhere else. I think it's just, you know,
Right.
skating. But no, I
All your
think the
skateboarding
questions.
combined.
Yeah, I think the one thing I'm trying to get in my mind is just understanding more how the lines work. Because right now, you know, I get to races, and the one thing I'm missing when I compare myself to the best racers is they come to a hill, and after 4 runs, especially Diego, like Diego is the best at this. He goes to a hill, does 4 runs, and he's like, okay, I understood the spot. I know what are the fastest lines here, you know. And I'm pretty amazed by that. You know, he's like pushing the limits and like finding the limits, and this motherfucker never falls. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like he just he's like, yeah, I just sent it. It was maybe too much, but he didn't crash, you know. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like I get to a spot, I get pretty comfortable on the spot super easily, I think. Like second run, I'm comfy on the spot. But I'm not at 100% of the spot for sure. Whereas Diego like does 4 runs, so maybe it takes a bit more time, but at the fourth, he won't get any faster afterwards, you know, basically, kind of. Of course, if he skates for years there, he gets better, but like he gets 90% of the thing done in 4 runs, and that's not my case. So yeah, I'm really trying to focus on this, not really on the style or anything, because that's, you know, it's something else. I think it's just something
Right.
I work more for, in tricks and in like my daily skate sessions in Paris, because you know there's not much to think of besides
Well,
doing
here's a follow-up
easy
question then.
things.
With these intense races, what do you do to like psych yourself up or like calm yourself down? 'Cause Jared, he listens to inspirational speeches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said to keep it calm. What is it?
Well,
Not sure I got it.
either one. Like, do you hype yourself up or are you trying to stay calm?
So two things. I'm gonna make a difference between the racing and no pose down racing. So for normal racing, you know, it's pretty stressful. I think a lot. It's like the most stressful thing ever. I think for sure. Like racing, I don't even know why I do it. Sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this? You know, I'm like waiting so much time on the top of a hill where I could be skating a lot more, doing a skate trip, and I go through all these emotions, and most of the time I'm disappointed in me, and I'm like, yo, that's so shitty, that's weird. But then after the event, whatever happened, I'm just so fucking stoked generally. Like it's a weird feeling, you know, because like if like I get a list of what the emotions I get and the stuff I get, it's pretty negative. But then the whole thing is just the best thing ever in the end. Because when it works out, when it doesn't have to be winning, but when I'm proud of a move, when I'm proud of a race hit, or I'm just stoked with the adrenaline, it just goes so high, you know. Because so I don't know if it makes sense, but basically I'm just saying there's definitely big lows, big highs, and that's why we keep doing it, I think. And it's also like I'm always saying and thinking, it's crazy how I can remember a race hit I did 5 years ago in details, and say, okay, that's what happened. I overtook him here, everything. And I will remember this for years just because the emotion is so strong, Like if you ask me what I ate yesterday, I don't remember. But a race from 6 years ago, I can tell you exactly how it went. And I think that's what makes it so special, is. And I was listening to a podcast that Thiago did. I can't remember with who it was, but like he was going through all these races, being so precise, and I was like, yeah, that's crazy. For every racer, it's such a big deal and such high emotions that it's memories for life, and that's what I love about it. And to answer your question again, for the no post down, it's this, but times 10 for me. I'm so stressed. I'm like so stressed because I've won the race in 2020, and every year, maybe it's gonna sound cocky to say this, but I know I can win. Like I could win. I know a lot of people can too. Like Ambroise is fucking fast, Jan, Albert, all these guys, like Chase, all these guys are so good. But I know like we're all at a level that's like similar, on this race at the no post down. And so, and also you can't make any mistakes. So every run becomes a challenge, if you're racing normal racing, well, you fuck up a corner in the first runs and you're with people that's slower, well, you can catch up, in the no post down, even if you're in front by 200 meters, you put your plug down, you're done. So that's like a crazy amount of stress. So to prevent this, I definitely listen to music going up, and I'm trying to like focus on breathing as much as possible to keep it as calm as possible. But yeah, no post down is the most stressful thing in my life by far, and racing is slightly less, but still pretty stressful.
That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
do you do yoga or anything like on the day of racing?
Not really. I do a bit of I don't know if it's called this way in English, but sophrology,
No. What does that mean?
Okay.
Say that
So
again.
sophrology, it's French probably, but it's basically some kind of meditation that my mom used to do, and she showed me. So it's just breathing and thinking about positive thing. So I definitely try to do that on the start line, and yeah, keep it as calm as possible and have fun. I noticed, for example, at the WDSC events, when they had interviews, a lot of people were super stressed about doing them while they were racing, but I was so stoked to do them because like I could think about the interview and not the race. So like it was distracting my mind a bit, and I was like, okay, I should do this more because I'm not thinking about like it stressing too much. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's part of it, huh?
I was listening to the podcast with Harry and Owen, the 35 All Grip podcast, and they were talking about bringing slidejam intermissions to the races. So like in the middle of the race, and people are like braking or taking a break, like have a little slidejam at a certain part.
I mean, I think it's a good idea, but if they do it in between runs, that'd be fucked up for me because I want to do both,
Right. Yeah, it would have to take place like maybe
you're trying not to wear yourself out. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if there's a slide jam, of course I'll show up, But if it's in between runs, kind of sketch.
No, it's a good opportunity for spectators. And
yeah, no, that's for sure. No, I
flash it up a bit. Well, one thing you were saying about like the race that kind of made me think of something was that you're trying to max out the lines and like try to figure out how to skate the hill and max it out and also go like 100%. In areas where there's flat hills or not much of a hill, these areas are known to breed some of the best racers. I think why that is because they're focusing on maxing out their runs and they're used to maxing out their runs. For slides and doing slide tricks and stuff, like you sometimes don't have much to work with on your hill. So do you find that like you go to these slide hills and you try to max out whatever you can do at these hills, like whether that's the biggest slide or like the most tricks you can do in a run, and does that kind of translate to the same mentality that you may bring to a race?
Yeah, I think it's similar. I just, I've noticed this in my life. If I had a good day, it's because I was proud of me at some point for anything. Could be skating, could be work related, could be I was playing the Formula One game and did some pretty cool move, whatever. But if I'm proud, makes me happy. So yeah, it's definitely part of it. Like maybe I show up to a spot, there's nothing, and I just have in my mind these three tricks I wanna land in a line, and I can't go home till I land them, and then I feel happy. So of course there's part of it, but the thing is for racing lines, like we maxed out in Paris, we maxed out our spot like years ago. So we're still trying stuff, and like I just moved in like a year ago to this apartment, and I'm right next to one of the best spots in Paris. It's not crazy. It's like it goes 50K, left hairpin, right hairpin, and this in the rain with other riders, we can have some super cool racing. How do you say? Uh, Small, it's not real races, but it's just like race trainings. Basically, we just all go together, try different stuff, like go from behind with more speed and try to pass, defend, stuff like that. And we're having so much fun with this, because on your own it doesn't take a while to max out the spots we already have. They're not, the spots aren't getting better with time, whereas we are. But with other people, it's just endless, because you can keep on trying more stuff, more lines. It's just, and more people, it's even more possibilities. So I always do that with Andreas and some other Parisians, Barthélemy, I don't know if you know, but all these guys. And the thing is, we have crazy good level. Like Andreas is a 2-time vice world champion this year, and it's fucking amazing because we live right next to each other, so we can train together, and we have the same goals. So that's really nice.
No wonder you're so damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use each other.
Andreas,
That's a great tactic.
yeah, I mean, for sure. Like Andreas, he started with the guy I told you about, Adrian, who was doing like teaching, and he joined. He was like 12, and and he was skating a bit, coming to a few sessions, and at some point he was like 14 or 15. He really got into it and came to every single session, and now he's just living the life, killing it, racing everywhere. Like he came to the US, of course, and yeah, we're also proud of him, and I'm so stoked to have someone as motivated to train with, and yeah, basically share the same vibe.
Okay, well, since we're talking about ways to max out your skating and do the things you want to do, I think one of the most important things is your setup, and
Yeah.
getting a board that you're comfortable with for whatever it is you do. So let's talk about your setup. What do you want to ride in both sliding and racing, and like what have you kind of dialed in?
So I've got 3 setups that I ride. One that I ride 70% of the time. I'd say 65% of the time. One that I ride 25% of the time, and one maybe 10. And that's like most of the time it's my pro board, single kick, but with a torque block. So I have it right here. Actually, I'll just grab it. Yep. So yeah, big ass kick tail,
Oh,
torque block, split setup. So that's basically a race board with my kick tail. And so I use that.
do you use the kicktail with that board?
Yeah, of course.
How do you get your foot over the torque block to use it?
I mean, it's. You ever tried it?
I haven't rode a board with a torque block and a kicktail yet.
Try it. Like, it's weird at the beginning. You're like, oh, why would I do that? But then it just makes sense. When you want to use the kicktail, you're on the kicktail. When you want to go downhill, you just put your foot wherever you'll put it on a downhill board. It's basically like when I created the Leon with Rocket, my pro board, like he chopped the tail off, and that's how the Rhino was born, basically. So we're just like, well, this is a race board. It just has this kicktail, which doesn't affect it in any way for racing, almost. So I just use this as my everything board. It's my fast race board. It's my race board for the no pause. And it's it's the one I use the most because I know I can go fast on it and do race lines, but I can also free ride a lot with it, and I can go to the skate park. But that's why I have another Leon that I use with symmetrical Valkyries this time, no torque block, and this one is more for definitely skate park and slide tricks, because slide tricks with a split setup is pretty shitty. And with torque block doesn't make sense. So yeah, it's good to have both. And then I have my race setup, which is I only bring it to races. Like I almost never skate with it outside races. The only reason why I don't use mine is because when I race 3 other guys, having a kicktail doesn't let me go into the smallest gaps I can find, like if there's a gap in the inside and I need to go in that inside while sliding, well, having this kicktail like is this much more space that I need.
Right.
That's the only reason.
What truck angles are you riding on your race board and your fast freeride board? And what wheels do you usually rock?
So I ride same Valkyries, 49 in the front. And in the back truck, I need to figure that out because I haven't tried it. I'm thinking about trying the 15. I've never tried the 15, but for now, 20 or 25 for the new back truck. But I only have one, and I ride it on my race board. Mm-hmm. So my fast freeride board is just the classic 30 degrees, the older version of the trucks now, but it just worked well, So I'll try the 15. And I'm also ripping the 115, 125 for the race board and 125, 135 for the fast freeride board. This way, with the fast freeride, when I put on the 135, I can use the 88 Moonwalkers, super small slide wheels. And, in Paris, they're just super fun, super slidey. So if I have 115 trucks, then I have this weird-ass looking board, with like this much of a board and wheels and tracks that are underneath, and I don't want that.
Yep, doesn't look good.
Yeah, so here in Paris, 90% of the time I use Moonwalkers. It's just slide. It's fun. And if not, I'll use the Mav Pros maybe from 88 and the Big Midi if I'm really trying to work on my race lines and stuff like that. But right now it's just raining, so put on small wheels.
Yeah. Do you got any new gear in the works that you're working with, like 88 or Rocket 4? Any
Not
pro
really.
Model wheels coming out?
We're considering it. It should happen at some point. You have the info, but I don't know yet. I don't want to. I don't know.
What are you thinking?
I'm figuring out.
Would it be like a race wheel or like a fast freeride wheel or like a slider wheel?
That's the thing. I don't know. Like for my pro board, I was stoked because I could come out with a product that was me.
Mm-hmm.
Downhill racing, freestyle. It was just me, what I do. Yeah. But for the wheels, I don't know. Like, should I go for a slide wheel? Maybe a Moonwalker, but a bit bigger. I don't know. Or because the thing is, here in Paris, I only ride small wheels, But whenever I'm at an event, the only thing I ride is the grippiest wheels I can find. It's the big middies, because I'm more and more a bit frustrated sometimes, and that's maybe from the guys I'm skating with. I think a lot of it depends from that, but skating slider wheels is frustrating for me more and more, because even if I'm free riding, I want to get a good line, and be fast
Mhm.
and skate with my friends. And if those friends are the top racers in the world, well, I can't follow them on math pros. Even if they're big, I need grip. So
That's tough.
maybe I should do more sessions at events with small wheels, but I usually like do like a few runs, and then I'm like, I'll just put on the bigger wheels and go faster.
Right. It's almost like the people you skate with are kind of like driving what you ride sometimes.
Yeah, a bit like, yeah, for
And
sure. Because
it seems like Europe is really on that downhill
a
free
bit.
rideable kick.
I mean, yeah, yes and no. It depends. Like there's definitely big free riders who are only focusing on skating small wheels and just like really free riding. And I'd love to spend more time with those guys actually, because the most trips I've been doing them with Diego, Greg, Alexandros Amboise, and even Amboise, he's free riding, but same big wheels.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to do a trip, and we're trying to plan it out, but I don't know yet. With the professional kids, I think they're the best content producers right now in terms of skating videos. I guess just I freaking love their videos,
So
and I love their style. Super chill, small wheels, freeride vibe. I love it.
Nice, dude.
well, one more question about kind of sport and technique we got here. How do you manage risk while skating downhill at high speeds? Are there specific safety measures you take, and how do you push through that fear?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because it's definitely one of the thing I'm trying to work on, because I know um, I'm usually more scared than the other people I skate with, um, especially in the high speed corners, like the ones, for example, in Turkey, there's this last left where you're going at 110, but the speed you're entering the corner is not really what scares me, because you just slide longer. But the thing is, it's a super long corner, so in the apex you're probably going, I don't know, like 35, 40 miles an hour in the apex, and that means if you missed the line and you're out, then you crash. You crash at 45 miles an hour, and that hurts for sure.
Mm.
And that's different from like Vulcan in the Pablo's corner. You're going 110, so like 65, 70 miles an hour, but then you break to a point where in the apex you're going 25, 30. And to me that's completely different, because here if you crash, it's not a big deal. So I'm really trying to gain more experience and be more how do you say, confident basically in those kinds of corner. And for the rest, it definitely changed lately, because the last trip I did was the first trip I did with only people doing glove down, and that pushed me into doing it. So that's why lately I've been posting a lot of glove down videos.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I was always, when I was filming, and I was like, yeah, let's do stand-ups. It looks better. It's better. And also, on open road, even if we use walkies and we do the safety, well, you crash, there's no hay bales, So pushing the limits open road was definitely super scary. But skating with the people that do it way more than I did, like Greg and Diego and Fabio and Stefano, it definitely pushed me into, getting closer to the limit open road. And it's definitely exciting, but I'm just taking it slow, like gaining the confidence. I don't want to still be, I still think like skating at a skate event is 10 times better than open road. But I think it's important to, like, it helps you understand your limits better, I think, on open road. Because I think that's why Diego is so good and so consistent, because he's got such a big experience of pushing to the limit to each spot he goes, even if it's like fast and pretty dangerous, that when he goes to a race, it's easy, it's way easier. So
Right. He doesn't
yeah,
worry
that's
about
what
the danger so much.
I don't know how he does it, and he crashes less than I do, so it works, But yeah, I'm definitely like my nightmare is having a really. I mean, it's a nightmare for any guy or people that like sport, not guy, but people in general that like sports. Yeah, having a crash that doesn't let you do sports afterwards. That'd be the nightmare, and I'm always thinking about this and the worst scenarios. So I think the only way to push through this is just doesn't going not going 100% at the beginning, but just building into it, and then at some point you're at the level that you thought wouldn't be possible, but then it is, because you took it slow and took the time to understand the limits. So yeah, I can definitely say I'm scared a lot of the time when I skate, and I think it's normal, and sometimes it's the moment I love the most, when I push through my fear, or there was a sketchy moment and I didn't have to think, but my brain just made it work. I think that's the flow moment. Those are the ones I think we all get some. It's the one thing that's really exciting.
Totally.
Yeah.
I remember like before I knew how to slide and bombing hills, those were some of the best moments on my board. You get through it with your friend,
Yeah.
like, we just made it down the hill. We made that turn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. You feel proud. You feel so proud.
Yeah.
Like, I pushed through it. It's like a real challenge. So yeah.
Well,
I
as a
wanted to
person
ask.
who's,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kurt.
I was just going to say real quick, as the person who's had that like life-changing injury where like you can't skate anymore,
Yeah.
I came back from that. It took a lot of, time and pain and termination, but I would just say, as far as the safety part is concerned, like if there's any kind of outside elements that are making you kind of not have the clearest appreciation for the danger and like appreciation for the road, really tone it back.
Yeah.
Like
For sure.
skate to live another day,
I mean, yeah.
I wanted to ask, what has been your most epic wipeout, and how have you gotten back mentally and physically?
So first, to add something on what you said, Kurt, I think I think it's so important whenever we talk like this about the sport, we're in it, and maybe we don't really understand how important to say how safety is such a big deal and so important. Like skating open road, I always get back protector, full face helmet, knee pads, and definitely walkies to know what's going to come, And even then, cutting lines, you got to be very sure and understand everything that the person says. So yeah, I think we're all very careful with that, because we know the risk, right? They exist. We just need to minimize them, right?
Absolutely.
But so you said what was the question? You said
Most
outside.
epic wipeout, and how you came back mentally and physically.
I'll respond to the second part of the question with because it's not a wipeout, but I had a knee injury, some problem with my bone. I had to get it fixed and get surgery. And so, because I never broke any bone, or I never had a real bad thing, just that one like bone disease basically. And I couldn't skate for like 6 months, 5 months, but it happened at the best time. It was like full winter, so I didn't lose. Like I went to all the events I could have gone to. The only thing is I lost some muscle. So yeah, definitely. When you say it's hard to get back, I definitely get it. I was like and I still doesn't have I still don't have the power I have with my other leg. But yeah, with this knee injury, definitely just not skating for like a few months definitely made me understand how important it is for me, and how things can turn quickly, you know. But yeah, I'm glad it's pretty good now, and my knee is in good shape. And for the worst wipeout, ah, I'm trying to think. Uh, I mean, I dislocate my shoulders pretty easily, but not dislocated to a point where I need to get to the hospital. Like it just pops a bit out, and after a few seconds, it pops in.
Mhm.
So that's always super scary. I don't know why, but it happens. The 2 times I went to Turkey, it happened, and so that was
So
pretty
that's why
fun.
you do no pause down.
Yeah, yeah,
Smart.
of course.
Well,
Keep
well,
the shoulders in good shape.
that'll ruin your mentality there. Because if like you're hurt and you're like, damn, like my shit is sore, like I gotta like
Yeah,
change it up a bit, like that'll definitely like ruin your mindset.
yeah, for sure. I mean, the last Turkey, I dislocated the shoulder the day before the race, I think, and so I was on painkillers the next day, and with the adrenaline, it's all right. You don't really feel it, but I also had road rashes, and those road rashes in the knee that tucks in, it's the worst. Like, and for racing, like you got to be at 100%. So it's so funny. Like I remember this year, I was like every run training, like it's so fucked. My knee, I hate it. And then when we're racing, I'm like, yeah, I don't fucking care. I'll just go through the pain and deal with it later. It's crazy how like the things I feel we can do in those situations, because it's so stressful that the body is just ready to absorb anything. I feel like if the body can work, then the mind will go with it. So I think it's crazy. Oh, and also, yeah, I had a pretty bad crash in Kozakov 2022. Like Diego and Harry crashed just in front of me, and yeah, I got one of their board, and basically my ankle got so big. But when we crashed, I was the first one to get back up, and that was semifinal. So I made it to the final like this. And so I came down at the bottom, and my ankle was just so big and like blue and like horrible. And I remember, who was it? Oh yeah, Harry was like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely broken." I'm like, "No, what the fuck?" But Kozakov, it's like the event you want to go to finals to. So I was like, I'm not gonna sit down. I'll fucking race this shit. And I remember, and that was Shortokov. They shortened the track because it was raining for finals, and so the push was way more important at that point than it would have been on a long track. And push, it was my push leg that I had, my push ankle.
Oh,
And so I just remember on the start line be like, I don't fucking care about this ankle. I'm living my dream in the Kazakhstan final. I'll deal with it later. And I managed to get second, so I was
hell yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
fucking stoked. Yeah, that was definitely a memorable moment. Where yeah, after that I was walking on crutches and everything, but for the finals, hell yeah.
Yeah, you're riding high after that one. That's nice.
Yeah,
You gotta watch
high on
anime where like
adrenaline.
dude breaks his arm or leg and he's like still fighting.
Yeah,
Like he can do it.
I
I
mean,
can do it.
yeah, that's why when you asked, I was saying like the emotions for races, for the races are so high that
Mm-hmm.
like it's uncomparable, and you can do crazy stuff because yeah, you're in this mood where yeah, I don't know, it's
Well,
crazy.
shit. Maybe racing is the life hack for the fountain of youth. If you want time to last longer and memories to be eternal, just push it to the limit and
Yeah,
race.
yeah, of
I
course.
mean, I,
But
I
then
I
yeah,
I can think of like a run or two I've had at like Giant's Head or some free ride event where like I remember everything.
yeah,
but maybe if I'm racing, I'll remember them all.
Because and so which ones do you remember? Were they the ones that were the most sketchy, or something
No,
happened, or
they were definitely runs like
cool?
with my friends nearby,
Oh
where
yeah,
I'm just like everything. I'm just like honed into 1,000% of what my friend's doing, so I can like react to it. And it's just like
yeah.
I'm just connected.
I mean, that's the one thing we didn't really discuss during this call, is just the community and how sick it is to skate with friends. Like, and
Absolutely.
that's one thing I'm a bit frustrated every time at K&K, because K&K is my favorite race and my favorite event, but I wish they were separate, because like for the whole week, I'm like having so much fun to the chillest event in the world. I think it's the chillest event in the world. Like, can you imagine an event where people stop in corners to hike them, and like you do a corner sesh and then you go back? And so basically you stop in corners, you can do a run with a pack, stop, wait for another one, and you skate with like 4 packs of 20 people in the same run. It's, for me, it's crazy how fun it is. But on the other hand, at the end of the week, I have the most important race of the year for me, and I want to be training for it, I want to be ready. So it's like finding the balance between being prepared and having the time of my life with my friends. And I hate that I have to choose every time.
Yeah, that's kind of how Pirate Downhill's going to go. I think it's going to be like, oh, I really
Yeah.
want to focus on the slide jam, but then also like, oh, the race is happening. I should be spending more time thinking about racing.
Yeah.
Got to choose your
I mean,
battles.
yeah. I mean, it's the best problem you could get, I feel like choosing between two cool things.
Facts. Well, let's change it up a bit. You've been kind of crushing it in the media game. It feels like you've really found your niche in terms of like reaching out to skaters and other people, and also making like fun, enjoyable content on Instagram and YouTube. So like, tell us a little bit about how you kind of figure out your niche in that realm, and do you feel like it's more work, or do you just have fun with it?
Um, I think I could be doing much more content and have even more fun with it. Um, I really want to do more YouTube videos. I think I'm tired of seeing runs. I think it's cool to see runs, and I post a lot too. But it's the easy thing, You
Mhm.
film a run, you get 4 reels out of it. That's it. And I think, yeah, like I freaking love going for a skate trip, and we film runs all day long. Like we get to a spot, and it's a bit like a race every time. You're trying to understand the spot, because you only have half a day to film a good run there. So it's exciting for sure. But in terms of content, well, a lot of my buddies, Diego, Alexandro, Samboise, they've gained thousands of followers from these runs. But in the end, like on all our accounts, myself included, you just scroll through,
Mm.
even if, especially if you're someone that doesn't really know about the sport, it's fucking boring. I feel like it's impressive sometimes. We go super fast, crazy lines, but then in the end, it's just the same shot over and over. So I want to get more creative, especially because being creative is also my job. So the more creative I can be with skating, and the best it is for me. So I really want to, and also I was talking about stuff that goes for beginners, because right now runs are cool, but they're not meant to be enjoyed by beginners, right? They're enjoyed by people that really know how hard it is to skate this spot this way, take this line. But I'd rather have, and that's what I want to do too. Maybe not, I don't want to stop posting runs. I just want to do more. And I want to do YouTube videos where I just show the fun part of our sport, which can be, maybe you go for a session with friends and you only go 25 miles an hour, but then you still have a super fun sesh because there's a fun challenge here and there, and then there's a weird thing you do with your friends, and it's just jokes during the run, that kind of stuff. I think professional kids are doing it in a super cool way where it just looks fun, you want to join them, but it's still super professional, so they can't post a video a week. They do it super cleanly, and it
Yep.
takes a lot of time and money. I want to do something way more simple, a bit like vlogs, showing how our everyday life as downhill skater is, and basically our daily sessions, because we only post the best runs we do in the best skate trips, but not the fun sessions we have on the home spot when it rains. And so, yeah, I'm trying to find. I have ideas. I want to have like fun ideas for each video to make it like fun to watch. And I know it definitely won't be seen as many times as like the reels we post. Sometimes you get millions of views. I know maybe a few hundred people will watch it, but I know that these people that will watch it will be way more inspired to try it than if they saw my video of extreme downhill skating and they're just like, oh, that's so cool. I'm never trying this in my life because these guys are fucking crazy,
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's my goal.
We've had this conversation with a couple other guests as well, and it seems like everybody is kind of tired of Instagram runs and like reels.
Yeah.
So it is difficult being like the skater and the filmer. Sometimes you have to like figure out a way to do both. So what ways can you think of that could help accomplish these goals as a filmer, but also as a skater?
Yeah,
to
well,
both have fun and capture everything.
I think I've really been inspired by Joseph Garbaccio, this guy I was talking to you about, the street skater, because he does it the easy way and it just works. Like all the top skaters, they've got these movies ideas where with big productions, and it takes a lot of time, and it's great. It's pushing the sport, but I really want to aim for something where the videos takes, I don't know, maybe half a day, maybe one full day with the shooting and the editing and everything and the posting, and it's done. And this video is just natural talks like we have right now, in front of the camera, friends. Maybe it's my friends filming, maybe I'm filming myself doing something, So yeah, that's definitely my goal for the coming year. And for example, the first video I want to do is going to be, and maybe you think it's foolish or something like that, but I just think it needs to be easy and fun to watch, So the first video I'll do, I think, is I'm going to be skating all the Parisian skate spots to kind of present them, but I'm going to be skating them on the street deck with like hard wheels and TKPs, just a fun challenge. And there's a few challenges I want to do like this, but it's just an opportunity to show what our vibe is on a daily basis, Yeah. And with the runs, I don't know if you noticed, but the past week, I've been trying to get creative around runs, because a run is cool, but I'm trying to implement some like, the speed. Lately, the last video I did the braking power, to kind of explain stuff in a creative way. Not just a sentence like, "This is how I brake," and then it's just a slide, but more of like, a GUI, not GUI. Like games, like basically a bit of gamify to show an idea in a creative way. So I don't know if you see what I'm talking about, but if you understand it. But yeah, I'm just trying to get creative with what I already have, and then create content that's not as beautiful, not as extreme, but super fun and chill.
I'm excited to see that. Keep an eye out. People can follow you on Instagram at Carlotti Longboard, is it?
Yeah, for sure. And actually, I did. Yeah, what's up? No, I was just gonna say I posted one video in that style the past year on YouTube, but I think for the next ones I'll do it in French. And I'm sorry for you guys. I'll put the subtitles, but I just feel like if it's in French, then all the friends, it's so easy to create a fun moment. Whereas if we're all speaking English, some of us are maybe not as comfortable speaking English, and it's just not natural. And I want something to be. I'll be holding the camera for 3 hours during the session, and then get a 10-minute edit out of it, and that's it.
That's the way to
But
do
yeah,
it.
so what are you saying? Sorry.
Oh yeah, I saw in there you did a skateboard log. That was cracking me up.
Oh yeah.
Can you just tell what inspired that and how it rode?
Yeah. So I mean, we've got a series going on with Ambroise. The log started it. Why we did that? It was we were in the Pyrenees, so the south of France, and to this event, it was rain. Basically, it's very far. Like we drove 10 hours and then 10 hours back, and we only got rain skating. It was raining all weekend, foggy as fuck, and there were not a lot of people at the event skating, like maybe 15 riders at a time. So we were doing so many runs, like I don't know, like 25 runs a day. It was too much. And at some point we were like, okay, we're just tired of skating this hill. Like it's fun, but we just we want to luge, we want to luge down it. So we were asking around, like, does someone have a luge for us? And we couldn't find one, so we just said, okay, we'll just build one ourselves, and we'll make it for 3 riders. In the beginning, it was supposed to be for 3 riders, and we ended up skating it only the 2 of us, because when we tried it with the 3rd guy, he got a bit scared. But with 2 riders, it was a bit more safe, and actually, like, it works so good. Like it's so stable with 4 Valkyries. I mean, it's a good log setup, because the log is the board, but then you have 2 Valkyries in front, 2 Valkyries in the back. I think the angles were like 15 degrees, 30 degrees, 46, 49, something like that. And it works super well. And then we did it again in our last trip. No, not the last trip, but a trip in Spain we did with Ambroise. And this time it was the door. I don't know if you saw it, but basically we skated a door, and we went so fast with it. I think we went, because the door itself was pretty heavy, like probably, I mean, I'll say in kilos, so I don't really know, but I think I'm 180 pounds, 180. It was probably around 450 pounds with the 2 of us on it, so super heavy. And the hill was fast, so you could feel the acceleration like nothing else, And I think we hit like 90K on it.
Jeez.
Pretty fucking scary.
What's next?
We have a lot of ideas. So the kayak is probably next. We want to kayak. There's the 2-person bed for sure, with like the pillows and everything. We've got a few ideas. We just need to get together and film it, because it has to be with Ambroise. Like we just started it together, and it's just our vibe.
That's fun.
You might need a box frame for the bed. I don't know if the trucks are gonna. Lots of flex.
Oh, we'll find a way. We'll find a way for sure.
That sounds awesome. Do you have to like change the bushings out for heavier objects, like the log?
I mean, we went for the log. We didn't, but for the door, yeah, we put the hardest bushings we could have.
Okay.
So Riptide hooked us up for sure. Riptide, big sponsor of the log and the door. So yeah, big help.
Well, I think the idea of getting like that street skater on a downhill setup and having him rip was awesome. Like, I couldn't understand what y'all were saying, but I could definitely like understand the vibe that was going on. Like, he seemed pretty stoked to get that trick, and it almost like
Oh yeah,
adapting to the same mentality that he had with street with the downhill, which is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I was there representing longboarders to the community of street skaters, because this guy YouTube channel, like he's actually pretty famous in France. Like you go to any skate parks, everyone knows him. And so like even just doing a video with him, now I go to a skate park and people are like, "Oh, you're the guy that made the video with Joseph."
Oh
Like, yeah. And so it was like a bit of a pressure on my shoulders, because I was like, a lot of the street skaters are like, "Oh, yo, longboarding is lame, they don't even know how to kickflip." And I'm like, "Yo, let's show these guys what we can do as longboarders." And it was so funny because like the day the video came out, Diego sent me a message, and it was like, "Yo, I'm so glad you were the guy doing it, because if it had been me, he's two-time world champion downhill skater, but he would have been like, yeah, I would have tried all these for like 2 hours and that's it." So and I was like, yeah, I mean, I was definitely trying to, like, I pushed it beyond what I did anytime, just because I was like, yeah, representing longboarders, I want to look good. I want a good look for the sport.
It's a good challenge.
Yeah,
Great,
it was,
great ambassador. So we can watch this on YouTube. Is it out now?
yeah, it's on YouTube, but it's in French, so I don't even know if there's the automatic translate. I don't know if you can get it.
What do you
But
search
you'll-
to find it?
Can I write it? Yeah, I'll just send you the link if you want.
Yeah.
But basically, you can enjoy my crashes. They're good fails,
Things you're trying.
and yeah, and those ones you don't need to speak French to love them. Where is it?
I was just wondering for our listeners too.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, that's right. For the listeners, well, yeah, his name is Joseph Garbaccio, and the title is in French, so it doesn't really make sense to. On échange de sport avec un pro. Basically, we switch sports with a professional downhill skater, longboarder.
We'll put a link in the bio for sure.
Yeah,
I like
you
that
have it.
concept a lot.
Yeah, it's nice for sure.
Because do you feel even at, I mean, obviously I do in France, like there's that stigma of like longboarding is lamer than street skating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to talk about this because I hate the fact that, I love all the disciplines of skating, and I hate the fact that there's like the, in downhill skating, I don't know if it is the case in the US for you guys, but in France, maybe not really now because we're really separate, but at some point they were all like bitching on like dancers and like, yeah, these guys are lame for just doing dancing. And I kind of hated this vibe because I was like, in the end, we're just all loving to skate, whether it's down the hill, doing dancing, whatever. And if we could have events that bring all these people together, they'd be much larger. So, and it used to be the case with like Paris in Paris. So Paris trucks were organizing these events where there was a slide jam and a dancing trick competition. And I thought that was so cool, bringing the communities together.
We can make it happen. Like I've seen in street skating and downhill crossover many a time, like slope style events and, slide competitions and pump track events. Like,
yeah,
just events that are like catering to any kind of wheeled board.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit more effort to do because you have to do it in like a city or,
yeah,
maybe
for sure.
close down,
and you have to be close to both communities.
Yep. I think events need to have a little bit more of like a focus on like skate everything. I think that's a good way to get people out to try things like Skate the Cape coming up. I'm really excited to see the multiple disciplines and pirates as well. Can't wait. I can't wait to show off my steez to all the street skaters and then go rip the park afterwards and just be like,
fuck yeah,
yo, let's go. You try
when is that?
We'll try that. Pirates is going to be the end of February, and then Skate the Cape is at the end of March.
Okay.
Both
where is it?
East Coast of the U.S.
Okay.
Yeah. Puerto Rico and Delaware.
Okay.
Cruise out.
But you should come because you would crush it in all disciplines. It's like
dude.
slalom, it's slide jam, downhill, pushing, We have some other like fun event. We do like a team relay race, pushing, which is fun because you don't get to do team events. So I'll send you the link for that because I'd love to have you.
Hell yeah.
Seems like a good community growth.
Yeah, I need a reason to come to the US at some point.
Perfect.
I mean, aside from North Carolina as the ultimate training ground,
Yeah.
the Pirates event is definitely one of those, I think.
Yeah, can't miss that one. That one's like a rite of passage.
Skate the Cape, March 28th, 30th.
Hey, Jared, were you there for Rocks and Creek 2022? What was it? Yeah, Rocks and Creek in DC?
Yes, it was Rock Creek Park in Washington, D.C. And yeah, you were there. I was there. Brandon, y'all were on the tour. Yeah, no,
I love this. Dude, that was so sick because we had the race in the morning, slide jam in the afternoon. And I thought it was so cool to do. Like such a great day.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Glad you had fun, man. Yeah, it was. I forgot who ran that event. Was it
you? I think.
No, it was probably Mark. It sounds like Mark. Yeah,
yeah, I think. But you were helping for sure.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
I was there.
He doesn't want to get the credit, but you were helping.
No, being so humble. Well, you guys got any more questions for this guy? Should we go into the hot takes?
Well, actually, real quick, I've got a guest question.
Oh, sweet.
From Brandon Desjardins.
Oh, I want to hear this one too.
Okay.
What you got, Brandy?
Let me pull it up here real quick. All right. So
if he talks about underwear racing,
he wants to know about your nasty ass feet on tour.
Oh, that story.
My nasty ass what?
Your nasty ass feet on tour.
Spill the beans, Antoine. The listeners need to know.
Hey, my feet were all right. The worst were from another guy of the crew, Caden. This guy, we posted his feet in the story, and everyone thought it was me, and I was like, "Yo, fuck." But yeah, no. I did it. I mean, we were living in a bus for 2 months, going through the South in Florida and fucking Arizona, and you fucking sweat out there, and there's no shower in the bus. So yeah, of course, I was definitely smelly. But this motherfucker, Brandon, he was too, huh? So come on.
You got to get the feet powder. It's essential, especially for long treks.
Yeah?
Sure. Yeah, it's like you just put it in your shoes, freshen them right up. Mm-hmm. And then also he asked you about skating K&K in women's underwear.
Oh, yeah. That was great. I don't know if you ever saw that. There's pictures of it.
Was that a little like Instagram thing you're trying to pull up, or just like, this is all I got?
No. It was a challenge with Brandon. So basically, what was it? Yeah, K&K 2019. Brandon challenges me to do a switch race down K&K. And so we went for the switch race. And it was pretty crazy because like switch skating, like I fucking hated it so hard. But we had a similar level with Brandon. And so down K&K, we were actually on a real race. Like it wasn't like someone is like so far ahead, or it was just like super tight. And like the both of us were like trying to do a switch tuck in the straights to go as fast as possible. It's the weirdest feeling ever, And at some point, like we crashed in like at the end, like just like 2 corners before the end, and we both go together, and he got me, but like by like this much, So it was like an actual good race on 18 corners switch. So that was super fun. And the loser had to skate for the no pose down qualification in women's underwear, and I did it, and I could feel I remember at K&K you've got those inside ditches which are so fun to skate. Basically, if the road is like this, you just get the ditch line. It's just so good.
Oh, cool.
I was always getting those, but with the underwear, the women's underwear, dude, I could feel the grass in the inside on my ass, and that was
Nice.
definitely not the best in terms of safety and how like confident I was for the, because it was not the actual race, but it was the qualifications. So it was still important, you know. But I was aero as fuck, so that was good.
That's great doing it.
Maybe a tip for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's you got any tips for skate and switch?
I hate it.
Switch toes. How about those?
Yeah, I mean, I used to work on those a lot, but not a lot now. I think for glove down, skating in the rain for sure, because you know less risk, and you can get comfortable by doing big slides at slow speeds. So I think it's a really good training because it gets you your good positions. You know, keeping the weight on the board. So I think that's really the only advice I would get. I mean, of course, skate switch more often, you'll get more confident. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think the rain is a good tip. But for me, the rain is a good tip for any slide, almost, just to learn and get better at it. Because the rain, you got to be super clean on the rain, otherwise you wipe out, or it just doesn't work. So I think maybe I say that because it rains a lot in Paris, but it's a good training, I think.
I agree. I got another question here. Do you make any money off your pro model?
Not a lot of money.
Damn, really?
Definitely. No, it's not really money. I'm like, basically, I wish I asked for a few more boards that I would sell myself instead of just getting, because I think I get like 5%. What is it? Maybe 10% of the price shops paid. So it's not a lot.
Okay. Well, you heard it
Well,
here first,
on
folks.
Instagram, do you get any money from like getting a ton of views or anything like that?
Nah, I wish.
No.
Nothing, bro. No. I mean, I'm trying to grow my Instagram because if you get more views, more followers, it's easier to get deals with brands, of course.
Facts.
But that's pretty much the only way you make money like that. I think Instagram was trying something where they would pay you when for views, but they were trying it in 2022 only for the US. And guess what? I was in the US for 2 months in 2022, but I didn't have an address there, and it just didn't work out. So
Damn.
I should have gained like at least like $600, which was like good money.
Mhm.
But it's still on Instagram. It's there. I can see it, but I can't get it. No way.
Damn.
Well, I feel like YouTube is definitely the move. I feel like these days people still want to be entertained by downhill skateboarding, and the type of entertainment has changed since it's become just so saturated on Instagram. So,
Yeah.
something you can sit down and watch, after dinner or during dinner on a YouTube is probably going to be the move. So I wish you luck with that, man. I hope it works out for you and you get some good times out of it.
I'm pretty realistic in the, like, I don't really see it, as a way to get money out of it for YouTube, because I feel like I'm not like, I want to be dedicated to racing and a few other projects, and maybe it could be a way to get money out of it, but I don't think it's the case if I only put a bit of my time in it. I really want this to be something for the beginner community and just for the community in general. Like, it's always cool, I think, to see people we know from the community not only skating but talking about skating, and just what we're doing right now. It's just entertaining people, but I want to do it in a way where there's talking and there's skating and there's just fun shit going around. Because I mean, most of our skate trips and what we do while we skate is so fucking funny, and I wish more people would see it. Like,
absolutely.
Like this thing, for me, it's one of the funniest joke Ambroise. Ambroise is such a funny guy. Weird and funny guy. I love him. Basically, in Spain, we had this rental car. And at some point, he always has glue on him, like super glue. And he glued a glass of wine on the top of the car. And it was so strong that we did the whole trip with it. And we were like filling it every day. And like everyone on the highway was just like, oh, tienes un vaso, tienes un vaso. They were like, yeah, there's a glass on your thing. And we're like, yeah, that's because we're thirsty, you know. And so we're just filling it every day. And like we filmed row runs, and you could see the glass on top of the car that was like drifting around because it was so fast. And the glass was just standing still like this. And for me, it was one of the funniest shit ever. And that's the kind of stuff I want to share more, you know. Like, I think people that are outside the sport really see like the best, like the top skaters, like Diego, Ambroise, all these guys. They see them as like professional athlete, like any other sport. But in the end, there's still these dumbass kids doing the funniest jokes ever and having fun down a hill. And yeah, what they do is pretty crazy, but everything that's around it makes it so much better.
Yep, that's I think why we get into it. It's because of the people, not so much the terrain to skate.
Yeah,
It's just a side effect that you get good hills if you moved where the community is.
for sure.
All right, you guys, can you think of anything else to ask him, or should we get into the hot takes?
Hot takes.
Hot takes.
All right,
He's going to take care of you on this one.
All right, Mr. Antoine Carlotti. So we got a couple of series of questions. They're meant to be short answers. There doesn't need to be an entire speech to every answer. Simple questions. All right, here we go. Rapid fire. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'll try my best to keep it short. I'm the worst with that.
Toe side or heel side?
Toe side.
Excellent. Ramps or rails?
I don't know. Rails and ramps if it's just big jumps.
All right. Favorite skate trip food?
Fuck. I don't know. The baguette.
Yeah, I'll take that. All right.
That's
Best
so
place
good.
to skate?
It's hard. It depends. For skating itself or for the community, so it's hard to answer. For the community, KNK, 100%. For the spots, I don't know. South of Spain, Vulcan, maybe.
Okay. All right.
Turkey.
This one's a little goofy. When you use the bathroom and you need to wipe your ass, do you fold or crinkle your toilet paper?
Fold for sure.
Okay. All right. All right. Next question. Soft wheel or hard wheels?
Soft all day.
Very good. Favorite durometer?
42A.
What?
No, I've never seen it. I don't know.
Possible exist?
I was like, is there a French way to do durometer?
No. Yeah, 78. I don't know. Moonwalkers.
Okay. All right. If you could live anywhere, where would it be?
I've been asking myself this question with my girlfriend for the past month because I'm thinking about moving. France is pretty fucking cool, huh? But not Paris. The south of France.
South of France. All right.
Yeah, generally.
Good spots there?
Yeah, I mean, the Alps are out there, so.
Nice. All right. Next question. Longboarding or downhill skateboarding?
Downhill skateboarding.
All right. Longboarding. Is it a sport, lifestyle, or art?
All of them, I feel like.
Good answer.
art. Art. I don't know about art. I think it's personal to everyone. But yeah, all of them.
Gotcha.
That's still a
Next
sport
question.
now too.
Who would be your ideal sponsor, not longboard related? Like, like we're talking like dream sponsor has nothing to do with longboarding. It could be a freaking soda company. It could be a clothing brand. It could be IKEA for all like.
Yeah. Wow. For the fame or for the money?
Both.
You tell us.
Yeah, like what? Hey, that's your prerogative, man. Like if you're doing it for the money, for the women, for the
I don't know. Man. Too many options. I don't know. Ferrari.
Hey,
That's a good one.
sounds
Go
fun.
big.
Kind of cool.
I like
They
it.
go with the leather suit, red leather suit.
Yeah, actually, fuck yeah, Ferrari. Yeah, fuck yeah, Ferrari, bro.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
We got invited to the Formula One races.
all
And
the
stuff.
races, all the parties. That'd be pretty dope, actually. All right, next question. Kookiest trend happening now.
Cookies trend happening now. In my opinion.
Yes.
Huh. Wow. Is there that many trends now? Like skating related or overall?
It could be
You tell
overall
us.
roller skating.
Shit. I don't know. I don't feel like anything's like cookie. I'm like
Being a nice guy. Come on, there's something.
What's the most cringy thing you can think of?
Shit, I got nothing in my mind, boys. Sorry.
This question.
I got nothing. I got
Do
nothing.
you want to hit the skip button? Do you want to hit the skip button on that one?
Skip.
All right. Last question. Who is the GOAT of longboarding / downhill skateboarding? Who's the GOAT in your opinion?
Nah. There's different disciplines.
I know. I agree.
I'll say two.
Remember, this is a sliding podcast. Remember this. So, in your opinion,
A sliding podcast?
yes. So specifically in sliding, who's the GOAT in your opinion?
Camilo Céspedes.
Good answer.
Camilo, yeah.
What about in downhill? Who's your downhill goat?
Diego, for sure.
I'll say
Diego
it.
Ponce.
All right.
Well, you got any shout outs, any thank yous you want to give out there, or anything you want to tell people to look out for in the future?
Plug it.
Yeah. Well, skate safe. Use walkies for big roads. Don't forget that skating isn't only downhill skating, extreme, super fast. It can be chill, slide spot. And then have fun with friends, of course. Shout out my sponsors. And thank you. Thank you guys.
Well done. Yeah.
Thank you
this
for
has
coming
been
out.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, happy holidays.
That's a podcast.
Fuck yeah.
Hey.